What?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's gonna be episode 25 of the Edgy&Weird podcast. So we got some special guests in here today. We got my homeboy Star coming back.
Star back in the building.
You want to introduce your friends?
Yes.
Chloe Kim Collins, you know what it is. You know how we do it.
I'm Josie. I don't even know where the camera is.
It's right here.
Okay.
It's right here, but the camera doesn't really matter.
Oh,
You know?
We just need to
We
look
just
at
gotta
the
talk.
cameras. Oh yeah, it don't matter, right?
Yeah. We just kind of talk, you know. And we have a couple more people that might want to say something a little later.
Anytime you guys want to just have something to say, just jump in and just say.
yeah, just yell.
Yeah. Okay, my dude. So, what was the topic?
Okay, so the two topics that we're discussing today is millennials, people age 18 to 27 years old nowadays compared to 18 to 27-year-olds back in the 1960s, 70s. Why are we more selfish? Why are we more egotistical? Why are we all in it for ourselves and more greedy compared to back then? And the second topic we're going to be covering today is scariest experiences that we all personally went through.
Yeah, let's just start with the first one you said.
Okay. I basically think social media, Instagram, Snapchat,
just easy access to all this information that was never able to be accessed.
we have the whole world on our phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheating has never been easier because you can DM anyone on IG. What else?
No, bro, look.
Let's take it back.
Yeah, it's real simple, man. Like, yeah, all of the stuff that people are doing today, it's because of all the groundwork that the generation before us laid. Like, I kind of feel like I'm in the middle of it because when I was little, there was no fucking computers and all that shit. And then by the time I graduated, like, there was nothing else but computers. Everything we were doing was...
I was tail end. Like, I was making rocks into dinosaur eggs. I was playing hopscotch. I was doing everything. And then all of a sudden I see these little babies on their phones and I'm like, I wasn't allowed to have a phone till I was like 15. That's so crazy. And I had to earn that privilege. I had to do some dishes. You know what I'm saying?
Entitlement, it changed.
It's there. Everything is there. And these parents have it easy because they just hand the tablet over.
I feel like I was born in
My parents had to deal with a lot, honey.
I was born in 2001, so I wasn't born with like iPads or anything. The first thing I got was an iPod Shuffle. Did you ever have that?
Like an iDog. Do you guys
like
remember iDogs?
thing.
No.
And I was like 6, and it was the best thing ever. And then slowly, like, as I got older, like when I was maybe like 11, I got an iPod 4, and that was fun. But I wasn't born. Like, there's 3-year-olds with their own iPads
It's
now.
so crazy.
Now I see 13, 14-year-olds, girls that have makeup so strong.
So crazy.
They look like they're 17, 18,
Oh my
19,
God.
And it's because they feel like they have
and
to.
you know that
look
wasn't
like
happening back in the 1960s. Everyone was dressing
Yeah, probably not in the 60s.
Everyone was looking the way they were supposed to look.
Maybe, but I mean, a lot more hair. But like, here's the thing.
I love 60s hair.
Yeah, well, this is going to get a little weird, but like, how sexually transmitted diseases, like certain ones, like crabs and like shit like that, how that shit's kind of going away. Like back in the day, people were just straight up forest. Like they were just, all natural. But like now everyone's shaving, so they don't have a place to nest.
we don't want to do all that.
So it's just like we lose some things, but we gain some things.
So are you saying 40 years ago, less people had AIDS than the people that are catching STDs were less than the rate now? Because nowadays we're modernized. We have all the counter measures, the antidotes and everything. The only 2 incurable ones is going to be HIV, and which turned into AIDS. Those fucking genital warts.
So
all this shit. Yeah, because you have money.
Yeah.
You just go in and you're done in 15 minutes and you're tested. Except they're more crazy.
And we have condoms now. Did we have condoms in the 1960s?
They probably did.
Probably made out of wood. Ow! Get that shit out of here!
They definitely did.
But yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with people and like how selfish we are. It's phones and things like that, like you used to tell your kids, hey, go outside and just so they play with the kids down the road, you know, fucking.
Yeah.
Now you don't need the kids down the road. You don't need
I don't see
nobody.
You don't need
outside
anybody.
anymore.
So there's that, and even if you're hanging out with somebody, like it's at the very least, it's going to be on a fucking console.
I mean, we were just all outside. All of us. We were on our phones.
Yeah.
We were.
Yeah.
I was
No
looking
one's
at
even
my
posting
Instagram feed. I wasn't even looking at y'all's Instagram feed. I was looking at mine, baby. I was trying to
everyone's
see what I
posting
was
stories and
doing.
they don't even look at themselves because they think they're the shit now. No one else matters, right?
Yeah,
And
and
plus, if you look at people's Instagram, like let's say there's a girl I'm interested in, or if girls are looking at guys' Instagram that they want to DM that they're interested in, and boom, like he looks like he has a lot of money. That wasn't back then before. Like you couldn't.
No,
pick.
honey.
Yeah,
you had
no
to
idea.
find the person.
Yeah.
You had to, pay attention to the person, and then you find out if he has a trust fund or not. And then you find out if you want him.
right in there.
You had to do a little bit of work, but baby, now I can just look on there and see what I want and how I want it.
Yeah, you have
it's
to
so
adjust the book.
immediate.
You have
But
to look
I
at
don't
the
know if
cover
that's
before.
a good thing though, because now we're not as close.
Yeah, it's not.
There's
But
not
I mean,
even, like,
you
dates
can be
anymore.
safe.
There's not even
You're more
courtship.
safe than look at it
Remember
behind
when
your
you
window.
had the court before you had sex? Like, what is that?
Okay,
Yeah, what,
that's
court?
That's like 90
Is that
Court,
something you do?
like dating.
Is that something like
I don't know.
Got a
He used to
restraining
have
order
to
thing?
take me out on his carriage. Now y'all just drive me in your wrist and expect me to give you some.
Are we riding a horse?
Like, I don't know. I'd rather be pulled up in a horse than whatever y'all driving right now.
Back then, 40 years ago, if you seen the person you loved or had a crush on, you would have to wish
Pursue them.
that you have a crush on. You would have to
Yes,
wish you seen them down the street.
Yeah.
And if you seen
You
them
can't just
at the,
find their
if
Insta.
you seen them at the park, you would have to just ride your bike down.
You would
And be
have
like,
to find
hey,
a
I
way,
like you.
baby.
Do you want to hang out sometime? And then you guys set up a meetup spot from there and be like, oh, I'll meet up with you next tomorrow at the park at 10.
Man, I want to take it back to the 60s.
Instagram
'cause
shit where you
baby,
can pick like 7 or 8 other
I want to be romance like that. The way he
Yeah,
just
bro,
showed
no.
her
He just like
that's
what's up?
nice.
What's up? Do you want me to hit it or something like that? In the old time, to like ask them out properly, give me a flower.
Yeah,
That's what I was
where's
gonna
my
say.
flowers at?
You were talking about the middle ground. Like, you used to have to show up at their door, like, hi, sir, I'd like to check out
Yes,
your daughter.
you have to
And
talk
you have
to
to
the
give them
dad.
flowers, and here's
You
the
have
type
to
of
talk to the
cigarettes,
dad.
and, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, you
You
have to talk to, you got to know the family
You know
before
how
you can
many
take the girl
people
out.
that
Yeah.
my parents don't know about any of the people I've been with. I'm able to keep it on a low low. I'm able to hide in my closet, text these people on my iPod, whatever I want to
You got
do.
PLF now.
That's not the
Yeah,
way it
fucking-
is. They gotta meet your parents. They gotta be respectfully eye to eye to your parents.
And then
Maybe
take
that's the
you
way
out
it
and do
should
some ski
be.
shit.
Maybe it is the
Oh,
way it
man.
should be.
Yeah.
That's really nice. That's really classy. And people do like old fashioned people over what we doing right now.
Well-
I know some girls, at least for me, I respect that. I'm like, oh, you talk to my mom, you talk to my dad, that's valuable.
Yeah.
Because that's not something you have to do anymore.
Right,
Your
right,
mom-
That's
right.
old fashioned.
Your mom liked me though, yeah?
Yeah, because you talk Korean.
Okay.
That's the only.
That's cool. That's cool.
Honey, if you talk
But-
Korean, that's a check mark.
Yeah.
Wait, can you switch
But I mean, that's good in a way, but I just
Yeah,
think it's the I think it's the human contact. Even if you don't have to necessarily go and be like, hi, Mrs. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so,
Yeah.
I mean, but just like to not even want to, like most of it is just kind of like,
It's easy.
hey, we're about to do this shit, Pop. And now we're out.
Yeah.
And now
I
it's
want
like-
I want nothing.
It's
And I gotta be honest, I'm kind of like that,
I know, but it's enabled and it's in our generation. That's how it is.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
I think another big impact is people like 6ix9ine, Cardi B, and all of that. They showed all of our young generation that nowadays you don't even have to be going to college, working hard, and all of that before. You can just get clout and do stupid shit and just blow up big. Plus, they modernize
But it's temporary.
modern
like, it's
woman
not
sexuality.
gonna last,
Like, use your pussy to get what you want, finesse, compared to stuff that wasn't there back then.
I don't-
That's just
didn't
shifted.
last.
That's
So-
been since day one. Since the first person, girl been using that pussy to get what she needs. Yeah, yeah.
But it's more
she was like, eat this
publicized
apple.
now, though.
She was like, eat this apple.
It's so
Or you ain't getting
publicized
no
though.
pussy. Yeah.
Why is that on my
Yeah,
For You
yeah.
page yesterday? Why is that the way it is? I
That's
doubt it was like that in the
like
60s. I
Yeah,
doubt that was
no.
romanticized the way that it is. Now it's romanticized. It's romanticized. Use him for his money. Use what you gotta use to get this or that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and we're not gonna fix any problems like that. Like, look, here's what I think. Like, if we just boil it all down, I don't think it was all right like back then either. Like to be with somebody that you don't even necessarily want to be with, you know, just popping out some kids and doing all that bullshit because you have to get married. You know,
if you're not married, you're a fucking loser.
You're a loser,
That's what it was.
Yeah.
L on your forehead.
Yeah, everyone gets married though. This
but like
450 pound lady in my building got married. So
My parents aren't married.
whenever I feel like I'm tripped out, like yeah, my one friend was like, bro, don't worry, everyone gets married, bro. Like he was like, bro, damn, they're married. Like,
yeah, well, the thing is, I'm pretty
Okay,
much.
this is taking a twist.
I'm pretty much good on that, and I think it should be fine either way. If you want to get married, fine. If you don't, fine. Like
Yeah.
you
There
know,
was
but like
definitely more
my
pressure
parents
back
aren't-
then.
it was way more pressure back then.
My parents have been together since they're like 45-ish. They've been together since they were like 19, and they're never married, but they had 2 kids, and like
That's fine.
They
Like the
just never
goldie
married.
hawn.
Yeah.
You're still together?
yeah.
Like 26
People
years.
like that.
I think that's
Wow.
maybe why that could be part of why they're still together. Getting married puts a lot of strain on a relationship.
Yeah,
it makes
puts
you legally
ridiculous
bound.
pressure.
Like,
They're like that has
you share
nothing
a
to do with
bank
anyone
account,
else.
You
So
share,
dead.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
I think that like I don't really want to get married.
Me
I
neither.
think that's probably just because my parents didn't. So it's like what I was raised with. But I don't see the.
Yeah, my parents
besides the
did, so that's why I don't.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like, honey, I don't want to get married for a
firsthand.
different
I don't know. I
reason.
just kind of don't see the point.
Mine are divorced, so that's like the 3
Same,
different
yeah.
ways to not get married.
Yeah,
That's
they
what I'm
were-
saying. That I feel like they'd literally be divorced if they were married, because like
My dad
it
was
just
like,
puts
in and
so much stress on it and makes it so like it makes it legal.
Yeah.
You're legally bound, and you have to get. I don't even know how the process goes for.
Yeah,
a
so
divorce,
it's
but
like you're
I'm sure
already
it's a lot.
feeling like if I fuck up, then this could
Yeah.
happen. Like who the fuck needs that shit? It should just be about what
'Cause
you
they can
feel
just break
about that person,
Yeah.
what they feel about you.
If my parents decided they hate each other, they could just break up right now,
Yeah.
move out. It's not a whole
It's not a
legal
whole
thing. You
thing.
need a lawyer, and it costs a bunch of money.
Well,
and
well,
it's like a battle.
You do have that common law marriage.
I mean, yeah. No, they're
Yeah.
like they're like legally married, but they're not actually. They never got married, but
Right,
they've
right.
been together long enough. I think that they.
that is still the
Yeah, like my mom calls him her husband, but
Yeah.
they're definitely not married.
Yeah.
I think that's better. Like as
Yeah.
long as they're happy together,
No, yeah,
that's pretty
exactly. Like I
much
don't
what it
know.
should be.
But I do agree you say that like the songs recently and the tablet affect those like young kids.
Yes.
Because I used to do tutoring a kid like 2nd grade
Yeah.
in his restaurant, and then the kid just humming the 69 song. It's
Yeah.
okay. The worst thing is
Wait,
like I
second
was
grade?
My nephew,
Yeah.
how old is he?
Yeah, they're so
2nd
young.
grade.
It's all
Seven.
this.
Oh.
2nd grade. I don't
7
know.
years old, 6, 8
It's
years old.
horrible.
He was singing like the latest little Nas song.
Like call me by your name, something like that.
Yeah.
But the worst thing is like just teaching him to do some like math problem.
Chilling with your friends.
And I was like, do you want to finish this one? And he said, no, I don't want to do my homework. It's so stressful. I need to do some drugs. I was
Oh
like,
my god!
I was like-
he said that.
yeah, he said it out loud.
He probably like saw it on TikTok.
Yeah,
dude.
or like maybe
yeah.
a song. I was like, don't say it in the
I'm
restaurant.
glad-
At least how I grew up, I was sheltered from all that. I know in the 1960s you were sheltered from that at 8 years old.
Yeah.
Knowing about sex, all those things that you're supposed to find out by your parents or by a sex teacher at a certain age or something like that. That's all normalized and so easy to access for these young kids because they're given a phone.
I think
exactly.
social media's made everyone more selfish and all in it for themselves. Like,
Yeah.
what can I finesse out of this person and stuff? But compared to back then, I think there were a lot of more in-person interactions going on because they didn't have internet porn and shit like that.
Yeah,
where
you had to
it's-
like buy a like VCR.
Yeah, and nobody wants to.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody wants
No
to
one wants to
get
go to all that
get caught in the
effort.
porn store, you know.
Ain't no
now
8-year-old
now
gonna
you
go
can
up to
pull
the
up
store.
fucking Pornhub or any shit like.
Yeah,
I
Thousands
Yeah.
of millions of
When I
people
was like
online.
9,
So
I got in
quick,
trouble for
and-
looking up
yeah.
boobs on my iPad. Like I literally googled girls kissing, and I got in so much trouble. Like I was 9.
Wait, at your
Yeah.
school?
By my parents, like they found my iPod.
shit.
Yeah,
Googled,
girl, that
I
iPod,
googled like,
baby.
girls kissing and shit, and they were like, Josie, what the fuck? Because I was 9 years
You
old.
should have put in
Like
2 girls, 1 cup.
no,
Shut up. She could have looked up anything.
Even as like the first generation of kids have access to that stuff, I was too exposed. Like I should have never even like known what that was.
And that's
like,
exactly what it is.
I
It's
was
kinda what
sheltered.
both
and
of-
now I feel
both
weird
of you were
shame
saying.
around anything of that nature because it just reminds me of when I got in trouble when I was 9.
She had like
it's,
normal parents at
it
my age.
affects
Like
you.
we're the same age, but I had parents that wouldn't even let me listen to the radio. Like they were so
Same.
strict.
Were you not allowed to watch
I wasn't allowed to watch the radio. I wasn't allowed to have an iPad. I wasn't allowed to have an iPod. So I'm like closer to your generation just only because how strict my parents was.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
That's complete opposite for me.
So-
My parents let me do whatever. They caught me selling drugs, like a lot of heartbreaking, disappointing stuff like growing up, and they just let it go. But
Yeah, my
Maybe
parents
somewhere in the middle.
My parents would have hit me
It
over the
should've
head with
been
a
somewhere
frying
in the middle,
pan.
maybe.
No,
Yeah.
baby.
My parents definitely got to that point at like because my sister was such a goody goody and she's my older sister, and so raising
They, like,
me was like
fuck off.
completely separate from raising her, and they were like, "You're crazy," which I was like kind of crazy, like, but I don't know. It's just a different thing, and it got to the point where they just didn't care anymore about what I did, like.
Yeah.
Because they were
Gave
so
up.
sick of trying to make me do what they wanted me to do. And now we have an awesome relationship and it's fine.
That's-
But we
yeah.
used to like hate each other. Like we used to scream all the time and it's like I don't know. I guess it just takes time.
That's actually better.
Yeah.
Like, I feel the same
appreciate
way.
our relationship so much
feel the same
better
way with my
now.
dad.
I like
Like,
love my parents
we-
to death, but
yeah.
they used to suck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I love
People
them so
suck,
much.
yo.
though.
You know,
yeah.
but like you grow, you learn.
And again, they were used to
And like
raising
now
my
he's like
sister.
my best friend. So.
Yeah, my sister was like straight A's, honor student, did like chorus. Like she was just so separate.
I think relationships also back 40 years ago with people younger, our age, 18 to 27, it lasted longer, and if they broke up, they did their best to try to fix it, compared to now where if you break up, then you have...
Oh, baby, you can just press a button and block them from your life.
You have 50 other people in your DMs, you know? Right
Yeah.
next to you, especially if you're a girl,
Immediate. Immediate.
Like
Yeah.
blocked. Like it's so easy.
I saw so many girls like as soon as they break out, they just post on
Yes.
Instagram or Snapchat like available now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's like some guy would just
And like
block their
rebound is
DM.
such a normal thing now to
Yeah.
which I'm sure people did that way back then, but now it's like
Yeah.
if you break up,
The easy
you get a
access
rebound
makes it
and
hard
you,
to find
make
like.
them jealous or something.
Yeah.
Like for most people, at least I've never even like been in a breakup, so I don't know. But I think a lot of people do that now. It's
Yeah.
all about rebounds and like
Yup.
It's all about on to the next.
Yeah.
Or
Jealous.
make me
Making
jealous.
them
Make
Making them
that.
jealous with Instagram, posting on
Yeah.
Mine
Because guess
gay,
what?
like,
Unless you
and that
see
shit
your
wasn't
ex,
back
they ain't
in
never gonna see
1960.
you.
They
on
couldn't
it.
do that, so
Saying.
they wouldn't be pissing each other off like
Yeah,
that either,
it's
you know?
such a different way of
in the
communication.
past, if you want to make people jealous, you need
You have to see them and you have to hope and pray that you see this person,
you have to
honey.
take,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You gotta be like, God, please put this person in my path so they
Wait
can
up.
see me with this cute boy.
Wait outside
Unless
their
you
job,
for
yeah?
real doing that, because I know I've had some of my guy friends like they had nice abs or whatever. I had them take a picture and pretend to be my boyfriend the day after a breakup where this boy really hurt my heart. In reality, baby, I was crying. It took me 2 years to
Yeah,
get over
like,
that breakup. On Snapchat,
1, 2, 3. Oh.
on Snapchat, honey, he thought that I'm done, moved on to a cuter boy.
I've done that so many times. Even with like
It's
my
a
gay
trick.
best friend,
Yeah.
I like take a
You're
picture with
evil.
me and like make him mad.
It's healing.
Yeah, the sadder you
We're
are,
like
you're
social
gonna
media
close
queens
your
because we're
eyes.
20, so
At least I know I'm a vengeful person. To get revenge is like the
Revenge.
Like it makes me feel so.
Hey, at least you know
it's
yourself.
so easy now. honey.
I've gone so. I'm not even.
I know, we're really bad. We need to stop exposing ourselves before we expose ourselves.
You'll be way
I have
longer
no
now.
idea.
What do you think is worse, the girls nowadays or the guys nowadays?
Oh my god, he's obviously gonna say the
In the
bitches
terms
because
of,
he's a boy.
because this is sticking to the topic,
It's-
right?
it's convoluted.
The millennials, right? The girls or the guys? Who do you think is more selfish?
Well, it's not. Here's the thing.
like,
It's not fair to
can you
either
see me
the
or
girls
can
or
you
the
see
guys of
me?
today because they're
Look,
still
you can't
borrowing
see
shit
that
they
one
learned from the
again.
girls and guys yesterday. You know, and like the bottom line is what do we all want to do that we still wanted to do yesterday? Fuck. You know, we just have so many more options
Yeah.
now, and so it's
Tinder.
fucking convoluted, my dude.
Tinder!
Yeah, so you have monsters on both sides, guys and girls. So I would never say
Yeah, no,
either one.
demons.
Yeah, like you
I don't think
have
either
predators
one
and
were
prey.
right. Like-
You know, like It's what you choose
Tinder
to do.
is so. I never used Tinder, but Tinder's so easy. You can swipe
Yeah, I
left
never
and
used
right on a
Tinder.
boy or a girl. That's so crazy to me. How are you just gonna judge someone on their looks and then decide to have a real relationship later on? Because I know some of those uglier boys have a better personality or more money, and then some of those cuter boys are not anything.
But I tell you, here's the thing.
How are you gonna know? Show me your income on that Tinder, and then we'll have a conversation.
A picture is worth, some stuff.
I like how evil you are.
I know guys who look awful in photos, but they're like really cute in person.
Yeah.
That's why I don't use Tinder, because
I don't use Tinder.
the guy I was in love with for years,
photos.
he is like awful in pictures. Like I would never ever
Not picture
swipe
us.
right on him.
Yeah.
I don't look cute in pictures, but baby, catch me on a Sunday
That's what I'm
looking
saying.
cute
I'm
in
not
church.
photogenic at all.
Have a
I'm
different
like a
conversation,
goblin,
baby. Cause I don't look good in pictures. You're gonna be like, ew. Swipe left or whatever the.
I mean,
you have to
yeah,
swipe
You know,
no.
when you have an iPhone
Whatever
or
the
a
no
Samsung.
one is,
Yeah,
cause honey, I
yeah.
don't know. You're gonna
Left is
swipe
no.
no.
Left is no.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
change
yeah.
your mind when you meet me and realize I'm funny.
And I said bye anyway, because you swipe left, bitch. I'm done with it.
You're
I'm done with you.
You're a done deal. You're expired. You're like expired milk. You going in the trash. All of you both. I'm done.
Scariest experiences, and if you guys have more than one, compare the two and pick the scariest one and explain why that one was more scarier than the other ones, the second one, and why it meant.
I must have been like.
We should start on the opposite side because I feel like mine might get people
It
arrested.
should have
I'm
to
not
be
gonna say it.
spiritual about the ghost, so it's just normal.
Anything
It
scary.
could be anything spiritual. It could be a car crash. It could be getting mobbed. It could be any type of just like frightening experience that you wouldn't want to go through.
I really wish I could just swivel this camera.
Yeah, we need their faces on there.
Do you guys want to switch with me? Mine is too like,
You know what? It's okay.
mine's too
okay.
gangster. I feel like I'm gonna get
No.
people arrested.
Alright,
That's cool.
It's good. I'm
I'm just not gonna mention names and call it a day. Hopefully
Yeah,
no
fuck it.
one
Let's just
Callie
go.
sees this.
Yep. Let's
just
go.
getting
go.
comfortable. I'm good.
Good.
I must have been
Okay.
having a bad day.
Because like, if I saw my face on camera, I would just guess.
No, yeah, I
Yeah, you would feel like you're not able to
We'll
say.
save it for next time.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you have one?
I was still thinking about it because I was.
I know. I just think.
Yeah, I got scared just about when I was learning the medical term about some disease on the skin. It's really easy to like pass on each other. That things
Yeah.
scare me, and the textbook they have the pictures really detailed, and that freaked me out. I don't want to touch anybody, and I don't want to get a bust.
Yeah. That's fine.
Skin disease.
I think I was just having like a bad day with this like chick I was seeing, and like I got this car rental and I was driving to North Shore, and like I dropped her off, and like when on my way back I started speeding, and then like this lady was driving slow, so I just like went to the left lane and passed her, and then I must have been too close, so because I took out her left windshield, her left mirror, and I just kept going, and like I came to an intersection and like it was turning red, and I just kept going straight, and I hit this Domino's delivery driver.
Oh
And then I
shit.
just pulled over. I just admitted like I'm done. Like I shouldn't have ran. But, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was just pure luck, and like it just came out of nowhere. And like I remember right before I hit that lady's side view mirror, I was in the left lane and I saw this like giant like truck. And just last minute, I squeezed in between her and the truck and went back in front of her.
Driving's scary.
And like that, I just can't believe it.
I guess you're traumatized.
Well,
What's-
this-
I was
Yeah.
traumatized for
How
like
long ago
crash
was
too.
this?
Like that shit.
Crashing is
Yeah, crashing
scary.
is scary.
It ruins your month.
Probably
Like
go
that's
for
the
it.
worst feeling
Plus,
ever.
you have to go through all that financial.
Dude, I got
burden
in
and
an
that
insurance
bullshit.
fraud scam once.
was
They like got on the ground and
Okay.
started
And I was,
screaming for
I was
help.
using Turo. It's a rental app, and like I'm banned for life now.
Because like one time we were doing delivery and then we got cats, like doing DoorDash with my cat, and then when he was backing up, cat was kind of yawning, so he would make something noise like the old lady was screaming,
yeah.
and then makes him think that
I
he
thought I
was-
hit someone. I was
Yeah.
backing up in downtown, and then I had a cat in the back seat,
Yeah, the cat just
and the cat just like
meowed.
meowed like an old woman. So I was like, "Oh my
Screaming.
god, did I hit somebody?"
It's like
You know, like how
traumatized.
old
Yeah.
I am
I was
now.
like, "This is the cat."
That
It was like
funny.
PTSD. Whoa.
Yeah, I just like stepped on the brakes. I was going slow.
Yeah.
Not hit anybody.
Yeah, bro.
I make trying to look good when I'm like,
I'll go next.
Yeah, go.
So, I have 3 scariest experiences, but I'll just start off with the most scariest. Okay, so I'll just name them all first. One is getting set up, robbed at gunpoint by 4 guys, and I swung with all of them. But they still managed to pry my wallet off my neck. My
This is
car,
your parking lot.
This is right downstairs. My car keys, my house keys fell out of my pocket. My 2 cell phones fell out of my pocket, and yeah, basically, yeah, they took all my shit. But I was fighting all 4 of them, but like I was getting licked, obviously, right?
There's
Yeah.
almost there's not much you can do.
Yeah,
There's
right.
4 of you.
yeah. But I'll describe that one a little more after. But that and that recent crash that I got into on Nahua Street, that one was just scary because I didn't have my license or insurance. It wasn't my fault. That motorcyclist crashed into me so hard that he's still in a coma to this day, right? When I got out of the car, I knew it wasn't my fault when I got out of the car, and that's why the cops didn't even arrest me that night. But this guy, his helmet and his Yamaha motorcycle was in pieces, like
That's
a toy.
sad.
4500 motorcycle. I got out, there was a pool of blood, like so much that I thought he was gonna die. And he was like gurgling, like. So 5 minutes passed. 300 people at least, no exaggeration, maybe even
It's like
more.
right in
Surround.
front of
It was right in front of International Marketplace.
Oh, yeah,
all surround me. 2 fire trucks, 2 ambulance, 16 cop cars came. As soon as the crash happened, when I came out of the car, I walked to the right of my vehicle. I looked at the damage, then I look at this guy, and just like, like a lot of blood. And then out of the people at the International Marketplace, two undercover cops came out, not even wearing police uniform. Like they were big Samoans. They had just swim shorts and just a regular gray shirt that says police with the police badge around their neck, like a lanyard, right? And they go, hey, you put the car in park, don't move, walk over there. And like they automatically just to control the situation. I walked. 6 cops come up to me, and then they asked, "Oh, license and insurance?" I didn't have it at the time, but then they could tell I was completely sober. It wasn't my fault, and they asked me, "Can you explain what happened to me?" And I was like, "Hey, look, officer, that doesn't even matter right now. The most important thing is whether it's his fault or mine, that this guy is alive, and I hope he's okay." And after that, all the cops that were being mean to me and thinking that I was a suspicious one, they just automatically backed off and were being nice because they seen, okay, this guy is a good person. He's not even worried about his car or that he doesn't have insurance to pay all this shit. He just wants to make sure that this guy is okay regardless of the fault, right?
Yeah.
So that was honestly the most, I guess,
that was a good.
one of the ones, yeah. But the scariest, and this is the most scariest experience in my life actually. It's scarier than getting robbed at gunpoint with all my shit jacked. Scarier than getting hit by a motorcycle and the guy almost bleeding out and he's dying and he's still in a coma, but I hope he recovers. Okay, so one day I walked my dog for like 3 or 4 days straight, so I decided to take him out for a nice little hike. But I was tired of hiking the same trails every day, so I looked up a completely different trail, something that would be I never went, so I could have a new experience.
So we're a little bit.
Yup. So I picked this trail in Hawaii Kai. I forget the exact name of it. I think it's like something trailhead, like cut or no.
I think I know.
It was Cut Out Crater. That's the trail that I went to. I parked, and then the entrance is like tall grass on both sides, like at least like 8 feet tall, and you just go through in there, and then there's a trail. But the thing is that when you go down the trail, it separates off into 3. It branches off into 3 at first. So I took the middle, and then I go all the way straight. But after hiking up there about 30 minutes with my dog, I eventually hit a point like Narnia, and it branched off into 3 one more time. But over there, you know how Narnia is, yeah? It's just tall trees on trees on trees surrounding you everywhere, right? So you don't really have a sense of direction. So once I took a left on that trail, I hiked up for 30 minutes, then I came back down, and I think once I took the wrong one of the wrong trails when I went down. Then I looked around and it was like maybe like 5 or 6 now, right? And it's getting dark, and I'm just surrounded by trees, like you know, like trees all around, like you know, like Freddy and Jason, like before they get murked like by a machete, like fucking out of nowhere. Like yeah, it was getting that dark, and there's just trees surrounding me all around. So boom, like I go back up, and then I take the right trail this time, and then I climb up for a bit, but then I realize it's taking me up the mountain. So then I come back down, and then I take the left. I take the middle trail again, and then once I get to where all the trees are, I try the third trail. But once I got to a third trail, it branches off again into another 2, right?
You just like
so I
don't know where you are anymore.
I could not get out. So I was just like running around there, like going up. When I thought I was going down, like I would hit a point and I would realize, I'm going back up. Yeah. So I was so desperate. I went back to the spot where all the trails cut off, and I was like, help! Help! Like, at least like fucking 15, 20 times at the
I would die.
at the top of my lungs, and then
Oh my god.
and at this point I just screwed all the trails. I was just like, I came from that way, so I'm just gonna go that way. So I didn't even go on the trails. Like I went through all these bushes, all this fucking bullshit, like Steve Irwin. Like
baby.
if I had a machete, like I should have been cutting that shit down. And I got out. I finally found an entrance out. It was like this small hedgeway. I found the hedgeway that I entered, but I got out. But the thing was, it wasn't even the hedgeway that I entered from where I parked my car. I got off like 9 blocks, like nine blocks out on the other side. So then I GPS'd it, and it showed my car like fucking 18 minutes away walking. So I had to walk from like 9 blocks down to get to my car. But honestly, like that was my scary experience, because I was in my car
because you don't know where you are. That's
once the sun goes
me
down,
getting like PTSD from like a small
all types of
inconvenience.
crazy shit would have been going through my head.
That I was gonna
That was
die.
scary.
Who's coming to the right, dog? It's over. Fuck.
I would have started building a
Fuck.
campfire and a shelter. Like
I would just know.
But like he's just a dog, and what if the dog got scared and suddenly run off and he never get back?
It's like, yeah, you can run, but you don't know where you're going. Like, that is
Anything
so.
else?
Yeah, you could run nowhere.
Or did you have another one?
No, that's good.
That's always
that was
that's his
scary.
3, right?
No.
You had 3 and you already told him.
I think for me the scariest thing is like when you think that you almost kill someone. Because when I was a kid, I was super aggressive. So when I was like 5th grade in like primary school, I have an argument with a boy. And you know, at the start of the argument, it always like turned into a fight.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's wrong with that boy. He started to like decide to grab a chair, those iron chair, to like smash my head.
What the fuck?
So I was like, damn, I don't
What
want
grade were you?
5th grade. I don't want to get
What the
smashed.
fuck?
I don't want to get smashed at all. If that hit my head, I would die.
You would die.
So I pushed the chair back, and we're just pushing it back and forth, and then I suddenly realized his like white shirt turning red, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then his friend just come to him and just like, hey, you're bleeding, and he just don't feel it at all. He's like, no, I want to finish that bitch. I was like, no, stop, you're really like bleeding.
Yeah.
So there's a cut in your throat.
What?
It's so
crazy.
scary.
And in the
right?
moment, you're like, I'm
From
about
just
to
pushing
like,
the chair?
you like
Yeah,
think
like-
you're like
yeah,
hurting.
just because the chair have a, you know, the metal part is really sharp, and I was so scared because I feel like he might have something happen to him. So we called it. We sent him to the school clinic immediately, and then I guess my classmates don't know what happened, and the teacher don't know what happened, so they just like, but they still spread the stories are getting worse and worse. So when I finally go back to the school clinic to like see how he's going, and I think the nurse just asked me, "Are you crazy? Did you just like scratch him like that?" I was like, "No."
Like he instigated it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not fucking worrying. I cannot just scratch him like that.
And it's like,
I
So
can
he
sit
tried to throw a
back.
chair at you, so
Yeah.
you scratched him.
Yeah,
And he goes to the school nurse and tried to get you in trouble.
Yeah, no, we need to save him, otherwise he might die.
Yeah,
There's
like
a
he was
deep cut in the
injured
throat.
and-
And
Oh, you
someone-
scratched him that hard?
Yeah, it's
With the
not
chair.
me, the chair. I pushed the chair back,
Yeah,
and the
push
chair
it back
popped
at
him.
him, yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, that's what
That's
you
your
did.
kid.
You're
That's
trying to
all.
get a girl,
Fuck.
baby.
And then everybody just like come to me, the teacher, the principal just asked me what happened again and again and again. And then he was sent in the hospital immediately to get stitches. I was so scared that day.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, what is? You're like 5th grade. You're like, am I gonna go to jail
Right,
for
and
30
then-
years?
And then I was like, fuck, I don't want to get in
don't
trouble
know.
and my mom is on school. I don't want to get my mom in trouble. And then I was so afraid, and then the teacher asked me, I had to stay calm and tell her what happened. Like, see, I'm not trying to get him hurt like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to protect myself. He started everything. But luckily, the boys' moms understand that, what's going on. And she doesn't blame me or anything. And she just tell me to not
Wait,
fight.
so he almost died?
No, he just got stitched. I don't know. I just saw him come back with
It
stitches.
could have been.
He
like,
could have.
Oh,
yeah.
like you poked the leg of a chair.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Which I just,
Yeah,
I just pushed
well,
the chair
you're
back.
defending yourself.
She was just
Yeah.
defending herself.
Yeah, and then I was so scared that but so many gossip people in the school, and
Yeah,
they
they make
spread the
shit
story.
Like, she attacked him.
Yeah, exactly. When
Yeah,
I
both kids bullshit.
when the day's off and I go
Kids
home,
love
I
to
walk
make
back
shit
home, I heard the
Oh, they're
auntie
pretty
in
good
the
at
school
it, too.
team
They
is
are.
talking
The ones
about
that are.
oh, that's the
Random
girl
girls.
that's like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
She just
Oh.
like used a knife to cut through the boy's throat. I was like,
What? I thought they would have turned you into like a ninja or something. Like,
I just think that, and then I don't know how
She
somehow
tried
my
to
name
do
just
it.
spread
It was
around the
pretty
school,
bad.
and since that day, no one like had the guts to mess around with me
Sure.
until I go to middle school. Still, no one dared to mess around with me, and as soon as I mentioned my name, so I still remember what I did. I was like, I didn't expect that.
You were
But
just
okay,
in the
I guess no one
moment.
mess around with me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
scary now.
yeah, yeah.
And I think I changed my personality. I try to be like more nice to people.
Aw.
Yeah, because I don't want to get in trouble anymore.
I
so
feel
it's
you.
not scary.
I feel you. It's
Shut
a
up,
kind of
Joseph.
trauma, especially when you're a kid.
Yeah,
It
that-
sticks with you.
Fifth
And
grade,
that's the
honey.
funny thing. People have no idea what that's doing to the person.
Yeah.
Like they're talking all this shit.
Yeah.
That's not even who you are.
you didn't mean
even
to.
mean for that to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I was so damn scared about that.
Yeah. Dude.
No, that's
Right.
actually, I feel you. I get worried about not that I'm like a wicked violent person or something, but if I got cheated on, like I would be in jail.
I'm not trying to.
Me
go
and you are
crazy.
gonna like write stuff on a whiteboard. We're gonna guess who got cheated on. Who are the suspects? Like,
no,
no, like I have a 4.0. Like I'm gonna deal with this situation accordingly.
I
Like,
wouldn't
I'm gonna
care
get
about
my
the girl,
whiteboard and I'm
it's
gonna
about
write.
the
No,
man.
we're gonna like write down for like
the girl's
48
innocent.
hours.
Right, and that's all. I feel that way.
No,
is
it's
The
not.
girl, it's the man.
We're gonna
not
come
the
up with a
girl.
very executive plan. We're gonna come up with a very good executive plan. and this
I
boy's
invented
gonna regret his life. Don't worry
If
about
someone
it.
fucks me over, I will get my revenge.
Yeah,
and it
no,
won't
like
I
We're not
was. I mean, I felt that way.
I wish I wasn't like that.
I never acted on it. Thank God, I never had
I
the
have.
opportunity.
I have.
I've gone
But
so.
and then also
worry
being
about
a black man,
No,
I have to
okay,
pick my
be
spots.
Careful,
I have to pick my spots, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't want to end up in that
Yeah,
jail
you
cell.
already have
Dude,
a
one
lot of
time-
face already because you're black.
I have gotten my revenge from a lot of people.
But it's kept me out of things that I really didn't
No,
want
it's
to do
probably
in
a
the first
blessing in
place.
disguise,
Honestly,
'cause-
you know.
Yeah.
I'm scared again. Like I'm saying, like one day
You
I'm
don't
scared
want
I'll
to
take it too
actually do
far.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
cause I'm a really vengeful person. Like if someone fucks me over, I feel the need to like
That's it.
get them back.
It's just enough.
And I just hope it doesn't take me too far one day.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
And like now
I would
she's
never,
friends
like,
with
do
me, so
anything
it's like
serious.
double the trouble.
Well, the thing is that you never know. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
what if you were in a situation, and that's why I feel like I have to think
Dude,
about
like
it myself.
3 years ago, I would have
could
thought
get a
I'd never
nasty
do
temper.
something that crazy. This girl, this is like, I'll make it a short story. This girl, she was my best friend. She sold my dirty underwear to her brother. Okay, she sold my dirty underwear to her brother. So then I was
Okay.
like, what the fuck? So I made her give me $20 because that's how much she sold it for. And I was like, we're not friends anymore. That's that.
50?
And then she decided she needs to get revenge on me. So she tried to fuck my man, and I was like, I'm sorry. Like, did we not work this? Like, why do you need revenge on me? What did I do?
But you gotta understand, she's a fucked up person.
Yeah, no, she
period,
didn't like
anyway.
that. She was like exposed for it. So then I went to her house, and I basically broke in. I mean, it wasn't that weird because I was her
that's
best friend. I was
fresh.
there every day, all day, every day. They left all their doors unlocked. It wasn't like I like smashed a window. Like I walked in and I took her bong and her rig and her torch and all that stuff. And then the next day at school, she was like, "Did you take that? Like, did you keep going to my house?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Like I was obviously it was me. Like,
Yeah.
like who else did that? But I was like. I was like, that's so weird.
That's so
Like,
weird. Oh my God, I don't know how to hear shit.
I was like, maybe.
Maybe you shouldn't play with
Like,
other
I might have
people's
done
shit.
that. I don't remember.
And then
Like,
you won't
obviously.
have anything happen to you.
But so that happened, and then we got in a fight in the lobby, and it was like whatever. Like she embarrassed herself, and it was that. Like, and then a year later, sorry, this is actually.
Like, super.
I found out. So I always had this speculation. I always knew that this was a thing in my bones. Okay. A year after that, I find out that she fucks her brother, which I knew.
What?
I knew.
This is some valuable
I
content.
knew.
That's why I know jumper. So
Baby, if you put
appreciate
us
you.
on your show,
Like,
you're gonna have a show.
Me and my
I'm
best friend. This is how me and my best friend became friends. She was dating her brother. First of all, by the way, she was 13. He was like 17. It was like a weird relationship. Like he was grooming her. But anyways,
Eternal?
that's how we became friends because we were both always at the house. And this family, I could never explain. Like this is the most.
You should have made a show about these.
Like we were in that house
Uh-huh.
all day, every day together, and like this family was weird as fuck. Like
You should make a show.
I should.
Oh, baby, we
But
have a lot
like,
of
so I
content.
found that out, and I was like, this is my perfect opportunity. So I took, those like political signs that they put on the side of the road. It's like vote for whoever. Like it's just like a little like 2 foot by 1 foot sign. I took those and I remodeled them to say Petra Shank fucks her brother, and I put them all over the like. I put them all over the parking
bro.
lot.
Don't
and
fuck with us, bitch.
I can't even.
Have fun,
I put them
because you're not gonna have a good
and
time.
It was funny. It was perfect because
That's not even anything to regret later. That's just fantastic.
Yeah, I was like, I had already dropped out of school. I was like not in school anymore, and I was leaving that day to go to a vacation to see my grandparents, and that was the day they got back from winter vacation. So it was perfect because I got up at like 4 a.m. because I had a flight, and I just like set them up for everyone to see when they get back from vacation. And then everyone thought it was a different girl. This girl Autumn, they were like, Autumn, did you do that? And I was like, I got it. Like, I got it. 'Cause no one likes her.
Yeah.
But yeah, revenge is my. I like.
Revenge is our
It's
specialty.
cool.
let's get back to the topic. So I think at least one more person has to share their scary
Oh,
I have
I
a
got
good
two
story.
short ones if you guys want to hear.
Okay. Do you want to go, Todd? Since you're one of the main.
Show your face.
It's too short.
Oh, since this is my podcast?
Yes.
Sure.
What is your scariest?
No, but you guys are the guests, man. So
I know.
I have a
you
lot
take
to
the lead.
say. All I gotta say is I have a lot to say. So you, and then me. 'Cause
Mine were real
I
quick.
know at least me and her, we have a lot to say. All y'all need to say something.
I have one, but no, go ahead.
Yeah, we want to hear
Yeah,
from
a few
you.
words.
If you're gonna
Yeah,
talk,
We're
when I-
excited
when
now.
I was a kid, I went into Sandy's Beach.
sit over.
It's
Can you sit over here real quick? And do it?
Sure.
So you
It's
might
a
as well just
beach
add
where
this
the-
onto
where
your
the shore
stuff.
breaks really close to the shore, right?
You might as well have him have his face on there.
I was trying.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get out of the camera. So, all right,
Yeah,
I'll just
pretty
move
much
it.
like I got caught in the wave and like I almost drowned. And I remember coming out
That's
and
good.
my folks just gave me a Coke.
What?
I just drank it.
Like
Oh,
cocaine.
okay.
Cocaine.
That was it?
No. I got this other one. So I was in a.
Wait,
I was in.
Wait.
I
So
was in this,
what happened after you left the
I was in this
Why was
lifeguard
this-
group to get my permit to become a legal lifeguard for like 6 months. That's how much the permit lasts. And
This is yours.
while I was in the class,
Yeah.
like we had a chicken fight. You know when the kid gets on top of your shoulders, and then y'all take turns pushing each other in the water.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, yeah.
so I guess my guy fell off, but he had his legs locked on me, and we were forward, and I was underwater, and like I was
shit.
starting to fucking lose it. So I was tapping him. I swear I was. So I was like fuck it, I just bit his leg
Oh,
That's what you gotta
as
do,
hard as
man.
I could.
gotta do it. You gotta do
ain't trying to
it.
die.
And I think he was still there, but so I bet even harder.
He's trying to drown you.
No, he was just like
That's so funny.
forward with his legs locked around my neck. So I guess he was like,
That's
oh
what
no,
you mean,
you know.
like,
Oh.
Or
biting
something.
him.
I think he's
Maybe.
scared
Like,
too. That's what you're
Thinking
saying.
back, like
Yeah.
that was insane though.
That was nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's so crazy.
He was purposely trying to drown you, right? After you. He was on your neck, right?
Till now, I don't know.
I don't know, like, people get real stupid in the water,
They,
though.
Yeah.
Like,
they hold grudges
I bet this
against
guy,
you
he's
and
like
shit,
trying to
bro.
hold
They
on
act
to
like
me.
water can't drown you. Why are you
Yeah.
trying to kill me?
Oh, like it can only drown you. It can drown me too.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah,
putting your
for
hand on
real.
my head to prop
For
yourself
real.
up.
Yeah,
But I'm on top of your shoulders.
Put your hand on my head, prop yourself up, and catch him.
I'm
Oh,
the one holding you up,
Get out
honey.
the water, bro. Oh shit.
Well, mine actually, I mean, you know, no ghosts or nothing like that. I was actually just lifting weights in my basement, and I got all excited because this is the first time that I put the 2 45-pound plates on like 2 45-pound plates on both sides.
Oh, so
225.
225, yeah.
Yeah,
225.
Yeah.
All right, so But it was the first time I did it in my basement. And in my basement, the weights are fucking heavy as fuck. Like, they've been sitting in water for years before we decided to put that whole thing back together. So it's like 45 pounds, but like 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And like the first time I did it, because I was way too scared to do it before, so I wanted to get really strong to make sure I could. And I fucking went down there and I did it 7 times. I was like, fuck yeah, 7 times. So I did that again for my second set. And then for my third set, I was like, you know, three sets of 7, good. Fucking 6, 6.5. Oh, fuck. And then, like, there's a thing that you can do, like, when you get about right here, that you can just, like, drop one side, one will roll off, and it's going to make a loud as fuck noise, and then it'll fucking...
It's going to save you from
it's going to fly off, but it won't kill you. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I let it get past that point.
Oh, no.
So then it was just like, wait, like I'm fucking dying, bro. It's 225 pounds on my neck with just like my elbows and wrists keeping it from killing me. I was like, I'm like,
what do you do?
Bro, I couldn't even talk.
No one was there with you?
No, I was in my basement.
Oh my god.
You know, it's just the dogs. So me and the dogs. I'm like.
Yeah.
I'm like.
That's actually so scary.
I couldn't even talk because it was on my fucking throat.
Oh hell no.
So I'm like, but my brother heard that, so like I'm just like I just flipped out. I was just like like fucking started, and I fell off the bench. I fell off the bench.
Oh, nice.
And fucking it was just like. And my brother came down there. He's like crying. He's like, "What the fuck happened?"
Like my life just
and he was like, "I thought one of the dogs had your neck." I was like, "Nah, bro."
That's so
almost died with this fucking weight.
Too. Fuck yeah, if it was on my neck right
Here's the funny thing. I'm so weird. Like the shirt that I was wearing, it had a hole in it from being caught. So I just fucking I washed that shirt and I wore it the next day to school. I was like, I almost died. I almost died in the shirt. That's my scary story.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, props for that. Do you have one for us, Chloe?
Josie's next.
This is not my story, but you'll see how like it has to do with me. So I guess I'll tell it this way. So it's like 2009, okay, and I'm 8, and I go in my parents' room, and I don't remember this. My mom told me this like a year ago. I go in my parents' room and I wake my mom up, and I was like, "Mom," and she wakes up and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "They're downstairs. I can hear them walking." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, and I was saying this like very clearly, like this was not how I talked. I said like, "They're downstairs. I can hear them walking." And so my parents freaked out. They thought someone was like in the house. So they go downstairs and they look around with a baseball bat, and no one's there. And they're like, "You had a bad dream. Like, shut the fuck up. Go to bed. Shut the fuck up." And so I go to bed. And then the next morning, we wake up, and my mom gets a call from her friend, and her friend's like, "Did you hear what happened?" I lived in this town called Mount Vernon in New Hampshire, and we had just moved away 2 weeks ago. We moved to this town called Wilton. And her friend called her, and she's like, "Did you hear what happened in Mount Vernon?" And Mom was like, "No." And she's like, "Go watch the news." And the night before, there was this, like, awful murder in this house it's on Trout. I remember the address, 4 Trout Road. And basically, and I hate even telling the story, it's actually really sad. Basically what happened was there was this like club of teenage boys. They called themselves Disciples of Destruction. They had this like club where they would break into people's houses and like steal shit, and they had these like fantasies about killing people. Like they were just a bunch of sociopaths that happened to find each other.
And they live on the neighborhood?
Yes,
Fantastic.
like they all live in the same town. This is like my hometown. It's the craziest murder that ever happened in New Hampshire, honestly. And like, so it was this group of 4 boys, and they broke into this house, and it was completely random. They didn't choose the house. They just went there because they were gonna go to the neighbors, and the neighbor's door was locked. So they went to the next house. They like break in through the basement or something, and they go up to the room, and the people in that house that were staying there, it was the mother, her name was Kimberly Cates, and the daughter, she was 11, her name was Jamie Cates. And they were sleeping in the master bedroom together because the dad was away on a business trip. And they make their way upstairs, and they like, Jamie and Kimberly hear them, and Kimberly's like, "Jamie, is that you?" And then they just start attacking her with a machete. Like, they just start fucking attacking her. And it makes me so sad. Jamie, like, literally the most brave little girl I've ever heard of. She got on top of her mom to try to protect her from, like, being attacked. And then in that, she got attacked. She survived, though. That's, like, she survived this. She got brutally attacked, like...
Wait, what weapon?
A machete. Like a big sword.
And how many times did she get slashed?
The mom got slashed, I think it's 37 times. Like, she got murdered, she was, like, a teacher in that town. Like, it was really, really, really sad. But Jamie called 911 somehow, and the police showed up, and they get entry, they kicked down the door, and she's behind the counter, the kitchen counter, like, covered in blood, like, head to toe.
Choke blood,
and she, like, can't even really talk, like, because they got her throat really bad. Like, there was, like, a golf ball size laceration in her throat, like, from her ear to her, like, the middle of her throat. But oh my God, I literally hate even saying this. When the cops got in, the first thing she said is, like, I think they killed my mommy. And it's just, like,
horrible.
So fucked up. And she was so, like, sorry, this is, like, graphic, but part of her foot was, like, cut off, and her big toe was, like, hanging off by, like, a tendon, like, by a thread. And, like, she had a bunch of cuts and slashes everywhere, but she survived, and she's actually doing really good now. She's, like, in college. She's a really good student.
She's a strong person.
She's she's actually my inspiration in life. Like, she's...
If I even got slashed in my face, I'd be, like, licking the every day sad.
Dude,
like,
I don't know. She somehow made her way to the phone and, like, called them. It's crazy. Yeah. And she's, like, a couple years older than me. I never was friends with her, but I knew of her. Like, she was in my town or whatever. But, yeah, I guess the whole point of that is just, like, that night, I, like, woke my parents up at the same exact time that the attack happened, and I was like, they're downstairs, and I can hear them walking. And then my mom woke up and was like, what the fuck? She didn't tell me for years because she knew that, like, as a kid, I would have made it about myself. I would have run around telling everyone that story, which is what, even telling the story now, I, like, a million disclaimers, like, this is not my story.
Right,
but, like, yeah, that's my...
Reminds me of that full of dads.
Yeah, I know.
It's like when you're in a business trip and come back home.
Like, you must feel guilt. It's obviously not his fault, but, like, if I was there, the whole thing is, like, insane. They got arrested, like, the next day because they were dumb as fuck. They were teenagers and they went around the school talking about it, like, disgusting. And the main guys were Steven Spader and Chris Gribble, and watching their court videos is, like, actually disturbing. Like, serial killer vibes. Like,
I just don't.
Like, when they ask them about the crimes, they, like, describe it like it's this, like, crazy story. Like, it's not. It's like what you did. It's like what the crime you committed. They, like, so I went into the house and, like, it's disgusting. And, like, and there's this quote he had, or not even a quote, but, like, in one of the court videos, the judge says I don't know what he said. He said something like, I really don't remember what he said, but Chris starts laughing in the courtroom, and the judge's like, what do you find funny about this, like, at all? Like, what is funny to you? And he's like, I just think it's funny that you guys don't know what I'm capable of. Like, okay.
He's playing Law and Order.
Okay. Like, you definitely won't last a day in prison.
That was a crazy story.
I'm sorry, that was nuts, dude. Like, there was this guy when these three guys that killed this old lady when I was in school. I was in junior high.
Yeah.
I was like 13, and I remember this guy Spike. Sorry, this guy Spike. He fucking, like, we were in the lunch line one time, and, like, he cut in front of me, and I was like, bro, what the fuck, you know, just being whatever.
Yeah.
Like, tiny, this skinny little fuck, you know.
Yeah.
This dude's like towering over me. And I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, one of these, bro. And I was like, oh, he would have killed me, you know?
Yeah.
And then a week later, like, I found out that they broke into this old lady's house.
Crazy.
That guy, like, broke into this old lady's house and beat her to death with soup cans, yo.
Soup cans?
Yeah, like, took soup cans, put them in socks, and beat
What
her.
the fuck?
Oh,
Ew,
did she-
go away.
She died?
She died, bro.
Damn.
She was like almost 90.
That's insanity.
I still remember her name. It
I'm
was
sorry.
because
I like
we used
work
to serve
with
meals to
old
her,
people
Rick
as a
Roberts.
living. That's like disgusting. Like I want to throw up right now. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
really
Yeah.
It's
Old
crazy.
people are
There's so many on so many
helpless.
levels. It's crazy. Like that killer was in front of me in a lunch line.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, how the fuck? I just remember like they got arrested. One of those things the next day, but they escaped.
Really?
It was two 16-year-olds. Spike was 16, and the other two kids, I don't know, they were from a different school, but two 16-year-olds and a 14-year-old, and they escaped from the county jail.
That's crazy.
And I remember when they caught them, it was like 2 days later, and Spike is trying to hide his face, and fucking the
He's like
sheriff.
behind a light post.
Well, now because the cameras are on him as they're taking him back, and he's
Yeah.
doing this, and the Sheriff Abdullah is
Yeah.
grabs his face and puts it in the camera. Everyone's like, yeah.
Good.
Dude,
That's
that
like
was
the
fucking
craziest is
crazy.
when it happens in like a small community town, like because
Yeah.
you're from Ohio, right?
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah,
such a
oh, so
Oh, my
small.
dad's from Ohio. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
fucking. Oh, not really.
That's
I don't like it. It
No,
might be
yeah.
cool for him.
No,
but
he
not for me.
doesn't. He doesn't like it
I'm
either.
sorry,
He moved to
bro.
Cali, so he
Yeah.
called me. So this one boy, I was dating this one boy, and he wasn't treating me right. And y'all already know I'm toxic. I already told everybody on my toxic story. So I was like, this boy isn't treating me right. And then all my friends from Cali think that they're gangsters and they're so cool and they want to fight everybody. So they're like, oh, bet. So let's meet up with him. So he sends a picture of him putting his arm around me to this boy that I'm talking to. And obviously this boy gets really defensive, like, oh, I want to fight you, la la, let's meet at this place. I'm not going to try and really keep it discreet because this was a whole police case.
We
And
can cuss him
so, anyway, so we met at this certain place. And this boy, he thinks he's all cool because he's gangster and all that. And so he want to fight. So my boy comes in. Obviously, my boy's bigger and better than him. He beats his ass. Then this boy want to get mad, pull out a knife, start stabbing my friends and shit. And then he wants to slash the tires. So now both of our tires are slashed. So I'm like, bitch, run me my fucking money. Now I'm mad. Because how am I going to get home? And then, so then he slashed the tires of this boy that we're with, and this boy that I'm with is autistic, and he's mad. He has mental problems. Like, you will get severely hurt. So he gets severely hurt. He's bloody from, I've never seen so much blood in my life. From this to this. Straight blood everywhere. And they just all jumping him at this point because now you mess with our well-being. And we stole $50 from him. They tore off his little gangster keychain that he want to have, and they said fuck the gang that he's from. We ran over him, said happy Thanksgiving, sir, and we ran and we went over there and we got our tires
at
fixed.
least you
Because
said
why are you
happy
trying to fuck with
Thanksgiving.
my well-being? I'm trying to get home. I'm like 15, sir.
Who was scared
Why
of
are
this
you
situation?
doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I do.
Well, that was scary for me. After that, I ran away because I was scared. I ain't never seen that much blood. He had to go to the dentist and everything. That was scary. That was a boy that I thought I had a crush on at a very young age. So, like, when you're young, you're like, oh my god, like, I'm gonna marry you. Like, we're gonna have babies and we're gonna have this great
And then your
life.
adrenaline and everything during that.
It was
fucking
very
time,
scary.
Fucking nuts.
And we had to show the police the scars that everybody got from this knife and everything that happened. And we was let go, but since he wanted to be a gangster and be cool and have tattoos, you gonna have to deal with the consequences. That's why being a gangster, putting those tattoos on your body, that's more loyalty than anything, because you're risking any affiliation you have with anything, any police, anything like that. You're gonna get the butt end of that. That's what you're risking for the gang. So,
Yeah, clean. Yep.
Gang.
oh my god, shut up.
I'm clean.
But,
tattoos
that
are
was
so
traumatizing for me because I was young. I thought that shit happened in movies. I didn't know he was
Yeah,
really
in real
gonna
life,
hurt
they really do
him,
that shit.
knock his teeth out, send him to the dentist. I never seen so much blood.
Yeah.
And I thought that, I love this boy or whatever. Obviously, my toxic guys don't know what love is, but,
I don't think any of us does.
So
That's
that's
all
what
good.
happened to me.
Okay.
Alright, man.
Well, we reached an hour. This is a world-breaking record from the last podcast, which was only 26
What are you
minutes.
doing?
But-
Stop. This is not fucking
This is like a
formal,
world
bro.
record.
Outro.
But we're
Wait,
still.
you switch legs, I'm dying.
But
Okay,
This is your
We
boy
need to
Star.
end this soon because
This
she's like
is your boy
done.
Star. Here to support Todd. So just keep tuning into the channel. Peace out, guys.
Episode 25, guys.
Episode 25. Don't worry
Appreciate
about
all you motherfuckers
Yes.
for coming in and sharing your stories.
it. We're always down to talk. We won't never shut up until you shut us up.
Yes, sir.
We ain't stopping till this podcast hits 1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you guys next time.